The most shocking part was that for nearly 10 hours, the jail authorities had absolutely no clue that the prisoners had escaped. Not only the FBI, but 3 top-level federal agencies were involved in trying to solve this case. We are talking about a prison break that for the last 60 years has remained not only unsolved, but has also turned into one of the world's greatest mysteries. Once again, welcome viewers. In the Pacific Ocean lies a small island, spread across just 22 acres. But this tiny island once housed some of the most dangerous criminals in the world. Built on a massive rock in the middle of the sea, it was famously known as the Rock. The island was surrounded by open ocean on all sides. For extra protection, a 15-foot-high fence encircled it. Guards monitored the prison 24/7. Located at the opening of the Pacific Ocean, the island was constantly battered by strong winds and powerful waves. Considering all these extreme conditions, in 1934, it was declared a federal prison. Security was so tight that once someone entered, escaping on their own was considered impossible. The prison earned a reputation as escape-proof. But on July 12, 1962, the myth of invincibility surrounding Alcatraz Island was shattered when 3 prisoners managed to deceive security and escape. The key characters in this story were John Anglin, Clarence Anglin, Frank Morris, Alan West. John and Clarence were brothers, imprisoned for bank robbery. Frank Morris had been in and out of prison since the age of 13, and was also sent to Alcatraz for bank robbery. Alan West had previously attempted multiple prison escapes, which is why he was transferred to maximum security at Alcatraz. The escape idea was first shared by Alan West in 1960. He had discovered a potential loophole in Block B of the prison. The challenge was that although the 4 inmates met during lunch breaks, their cells were not initially located in Block B. Eventually, they succeeded in getting transferred to Block B. For the next 2 years, they secretly prepared their escape plan inside their cells without raising suspicion. On the morning of July 12, 1962, during routine headcount, prison staff discovered that 3 prisoners were missing. Upon checking the cells, they found what appeared to be the prisoners sleeping in their beds. But when guards tried to wake them, they discovered dummy heads made from soap, plaster, and concrete mixtures. One of the dummy heads even fell and broke. The entire staff was stunned. Investigators later found that the prisoners had enlarged the small ventilation openings in their cell walls. Surprisingly, 4 cells had damaged vents, including Alan West's. However, West failed to escape because he couldn't widen his vent enough in time. Realizing he had no chance to flee, Alan West revealed the entire plan to investigators. The inmates had secretly carved through the 6-inch thick walls using stolen spoons from the kitchen. Later, they even built a makeshift drill using a vacuum cleaner motor. To hide the noise, they played musical instruments during work hours. Behind the vents was an unguarded corridor leading to the roof. From there, they climbed down a pipe and crossed the 15-foot fence. They had prepared an inflatable raft made from stitched raincoats provided by prison administration. They also created makeshift life jackets from the same material. According to Alan West, the plan was to first reach Angel Island north of Alcatraz, and then make their way to the mainland where security was minimal. Despite massive search operations by the FBI, U.S. Coast Guard, Bureau of Prisons, and U.S. Marshals, no trace of the prisoners or their raft was found. Later, parts of a wooden paddle and 2 raincoat-made bags containing personal items, including family photos and letters, were recovered. This led investigators to believe the prisoners may not have survived. However, no bodies were ever found. Some family members later claimed the Anglin brothers were still alive. A relative even reported seeing them in Brazil years later and captured a photograph. But investigators argued that facial analysis did not match. In 1979, the FBI officially closed the case, declaring that the men likely drowned. However, the U.S. Marshals Service continues to keep the case open to this day. Shortly after the escape, Alcatraz prison was shut down and later turned into a national park. Today, tourists can visit the same Block B cells where the Anglin brothers, Frank Morris and Alan West, once lived. And the mystery remains. Did the ocean swallow them, or did they successfully pull off the greatest prison escape in history?